we want to make sure there is a, a executive team. Executive. All right, so we want to make sure there's an executive team doc and global super team doc. So the global super team doc also is not the doc that goes at the top of the Venus session doc. Right? What goes on the top of the Venus session doc?
The FQN core.
The main doc, the global main doc. Oh, there's one other thing about the Venus session. What is the aphelion?
Aphelion.
You guys remember what that is? There's no difference between a perihelion and a aphelion.
When it's the closest to the Earth.
The perihelion is the closest to the Earth, and the aphelion is the furthest from the Earth.
The orbit of a planet, at which furthest from the sun.
Furthest from the sun. So yeah. So right now. Yeah. So right now the Venus aphelion is the moment where Venus is the furthest from the sun. And we basically consider that to be like the midpoint of the annual cycle of a planet going around the sun. So the closest point to the sun is the primary. You're close to the sun, you're getting the most energy. It's like, that would be the closest point. And then the furthest point is our check-in. So we review the goals that were created at the previous Venus session, if they exist. Cool. So that sounds good. So can somebody make the I mean, I think we have the Venus docs, but let's check here. So we need to get into the global main doc, and I can't find a link for it. So how can I do that? That's not gonna help. So can someone please link the global main doc to the top of the Venus doc where it's supposed to be? And then we can get to that because the Venus doc is not linking to the executive team doc, which is a problem. And then Mercury session doc doesn't necessarily need to link within the Venus session doc. And the Venus session doc doesn't need to link to itself. So this is like documentation. So there's endless documentations work to get all our documents organized. Just think common sense, like the top of the Venus team doc, you would link the main global doc.
It's linked there already.
The super team doc is like there, not the main doc.
Global FKN community, not main doc.
Okay, you just linked it? Okay, good. And then this also goes at the top as well because it's the most important doc, so that's why it goes to the top. And if we look in here, we should be able to see whether or not it says executive team. Here we go. So this is the other doc that was missing from the list. Again, the Global FKN Community Network main doc should go at the top. And then we have the executive team doc is the one that was missing. Okay. Does that make sense? Does that make sense, guys? That we would want the executive team doc?
Yes.
All right, so we go to the executive team is where we should have the executive team setup verification spreadsheet. There it is. It's already there. So if we had just linked it properly, we could have saved 5 minutes right there. All right, you guys understand? So now we can go quickly through our.
Can you please share your screen?
Yeah, we'll get to that. Okay. So now we're going on to our team setup verification. And here's our verification spreadsheet. And I have to figure out how to do that. So let's see if I go to sorry. All right, so hopefully that works to share the screen. All right, so create team verification spreadsheet, done, right? We have it. It exists. Team name, not really applicable. It's the executive team, so that's fine. Super team doc, also not applicable. This would be the executive team doc. And we do have it, so that's good. Master priorities list, no. Decisions doc, I don't know. Master responsibilities list, I don't know. So topic list, master task list. Add main docs for each team member, not needed. This would just be like, might want to add executive positions links. Main session doc, not needed at this time. Create template to cool. All right, so that all looks pretty good. Responsibility.
And the decisions doc is the master decisions doc. So we have that.
Okay, but we do want to keep track of decisions that are made by the Venus session separate from all of the chaos of all the other decisions.
All right.
Yeah. So in general, like, you know, every team should have their own decisions doc so that you can keep track, and then the master decisions doc can link to all the other decisions docs. But we definitely want to not just have a single decisions doc, because that would be pretty overwhelming. Let's see, billing, work reporting doc, deliverables. So I would say primary essentials would be like evaluation, accountability, training. But I mean, we haven't really done too much at the executive level, so let's just leave it all at 0, I would say. We could do a little bit of team identity because we did some there, so that could be like, you know, 50%. Is there anything else anyone thinks that we should mark as being done more? One of the worst things that we're not doing is session support. Session support is really bad for the executive team because we're not inviting all of the other executives. Same is true with the board and other sessions when you get the public involved. Cool. All right. So I think that's pretty much it on my side. I mean, we haven't done much for the executive team. There's a lot more to do. Any other additions to our team setup verification? Cool. So
tasks and projects.
We went over the tasks. The projects are even bigger than responsibilities, so we're not going to have anything there. So I would say that the people responsible for executive team setup are, this would be myself, Centaur, CEO, President, Jay, right? Then we have the main executive positions. So you'd have your documentations, actions, and
communications.
Cool.
Communications.
So these people would want to be checking in on getting everything set up for the executive team. All right, so I think that's good on our team setup. Any last stuff on setting up our team, for the executive team? Okay, so executive positions done, executive systems, executive roles. Do you guys want to go over executive roles at all? Oh no, create teams for verifying bonus hours. That's the first one. So that is gonna go here. So whose is this? Create team for verifying bonus hours. Isn't this just part of payroll verification, or what is this?
Yes, I don't know why. Yeah, they said that you're the one who said we need that. I was like, I don't know why we already do it.
I never mentioned
I mean,
anything about it. It's not coming from me.
I said very simply, bonuses is like, for regular bonuses, it's bonus hours times hourly wage for the work that they did in bonus time. The only thing that's different is deliverable bonuses, and there's a list for the deliverable bonuses. So I don't know what the problem is. I do know why it was put in there, but I'm not going there. So I do know why it was put in there, but I don't want to go there because somebody felt like she didn't get all her bonus hours.
Okay, I mean, overall, I feel like our focus should be getting all of the work done, and that the bonuses should be because we actually are achieving our goals, and shouldn't necessarily be the focus of all of our stuff. But we certainly want to make sure people are getting their basic bonuses. Obviously, if someone has a question, they just ask.
Exactly. Well,
so if no one asks a question, then I'm not concerned about it. So who's our runner? Let's make sure we have a runner. Who wants to be the runner?
I guess I'll run.
Is that all right with everyone? Have Steve be the runner? Okay, so
I'll tell him
going to be a runner. So what we would want is we would want to go check in with the other team and make sure that they know that we're not sure about the questions involved, like what the questions are for the bonus hours.
Yeah.
So if you're going to send a Skype message and just be like, we're not sure about the questions on the bonus hours, so we're going to skip that. All right, so what's next?
I'm going to ask you.
Are there any other questions on the executive positions or the executive systems and executive roles? We want to go over that?
Not sure.
And let's go ahead and prioritize some of these things. I mean, for me, the plan for the next 3 to 4 months is very important. Or reviewing goals, right? Review goals and plans is very important. HR proposals could wait. Canopy also can wait, in my opinion, until after that. Recruitment probably shouldn't wait. We should probably do the recruitment first. So if there's any other questions on executive roles or executive positions, we could cover that. Executives basically do everything. It's going above and beyond like a normal worker. So, I mean, I don't know what else to say about it, but every executive, like one of the first roles, just like any position, is to organize the position. Every executive position needs a doc. It needs a position description to describe it. So, do you guys want to go on to recruitment, or are there more questions on the executive positions? I guess we could talk more about the management positions. We do 5 minutes on the management positions, and then recruitment, and then we can go through reviewing goals. Oh, right, no, this is billing goals.
Sounds good.
Discuss billing goals for next 3 months. So you guys want to go through billing again? Is that what's going on here?
No. They want to know what the billing goals are to avoid the soft stop and hard stop.
Yeah, so you can just.
Okay, well, let's go through the manager positions, and then we have hard stop, soft stop, and hard stop proposals. So we can go through that. That'll probably take 10 to 15 minutes. And then there's the other HR proposals, which we can review briefly. But I don't know if we want to approve them. We'll see. All right, so let's do the manager positions real quick, okay? So the manager positions, as I mentioned above, that I think are the most important for executive coordination. Like, I think the other one that I would add is definitely going to be plasma. And right now, Lucy's doing that. Although there's not much getting done with plasma. All right, so the recruitment manager, I think, is going to be very, very important. We need someone who's going to be more on recruitment. And I think it really is a recruitment and outreach manager. I think they should be together. Worker coordinators, I think, is also extremely important. And the rankings coordinator. I think these would be like the top 3 managers.
What's the rankings coordinator?
The person who's going to be overseeing all of the rankings in elections and other aspects of.
Okay.
I mean, it's very important. I mean, it's very important to be connected to the idea of these 3 roles is that they're high level importance, that there should be, like, of all of the manager roles, these should be the 3 manager roles that are, like, right now our executive priorities. If anyone can think of other manager coordinator roles that we want to prioritize as executives, that would be helpful. But these are the ones that I would prioritize.
Probably, if you ask the whole team, probably payroll.
Well, I mean, we can prioritize payroll, but we already have managers for that.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
And
don't we have a worker coordinator also, according to the paperwork, according to the docs?
I don't know.
Did somebody take that? Looking. Give me a minute.
Cool. So anyway, so these 3, the recruitment and outreach manager, worker coordinator, rankings coordinator, if we can get these 3 positions along with payroll already have coordinators and managers. So this would be Joyce and Steve. So if we can get all of this organized, that would be awesome. And then we would want these managers to report to the executives at the executive team meetings. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
And then these managers would be overseeing the other managers. I think the other position that is good that we talked about is the tactical ops. It also was Lucy and Steve. So the tactical ops for responsibilities and positions. So the idea is that the tactical ops coordinators are reporting directly to the executives because they are coordinating and overseeing all the other responsibilities and managers. Does that make sense?
I can help on worker coordination.
Worker coordination or what? What did you say?
Yeah, worker coordination.
Cool. Okay. So all of these manager positions are reporting directly to the executives, all of them. Except for Plasma. Plasma is even higher. Plasma is a higher level and reports to executives and board and membership. Okay, so anyone else for rankings coordinator or recruitment and outreach manager?
Can I just help on recruitment?
Yeah, for sure. And we can also ask the other, Steve, you can also ask the other team, say like, these 3 positions are really important, see if anyone else is interested.
All right.
Maybe we can find someone for rankings, okay?
Okay.
All right, sweet. So I think we're ready to move on. Any other questions on these manager positions? Obviously, the beginning would be to organize the manager position. I mean, we're still so early on everything. We're just not organized yet. So each position needs a doc, needs a description. So over and remember, we still have a lot of people who are signing up to multiple positions. These are going to be some of our priority manager positions. And then from there, we're going to get new people and we're going to get other people involved. So there isn't as much on the people who are stepping up right now. But for now, we need these positions started so that, because otherwise everything doesn't function, Yeah. There's so much worker coordination to do. There's so much rankings to do. There's just the recruitment and outreach. If we don't recruit more people, we're not going to make a lot of progress. So I think our next are other questions, and I think next we're going through the proposals. Anything else for the manager positions?
I also help on ranking coordination.
I mean, these are really big roles. I would prefer people to do 1, not 2. And we have plenty of people. We should split up. So, let's get someone from the other team to step up and do either rankings or something else. Okay?
Okay.
And the rankings is a coordinator position because there could be manager positions under. All right. So,
Albina said she will help on recruitment. Also on recruitment.
Awesome.
Okay.
And remember, managers don't actually do the work. They are there to report back. So each of these managers, when you come to the executive team, should be prepared with the report, right?
What's about ranking coordinator? What's the work of ranking coordinator?
The ranking coordinator is dealing with all the HR rankings, and all of the
elections, all the
elections, and making sure that we deal with our priorities, etc. And then at the next executive team meeting, the manager should have reports, right? Okay, so are we ready to move on to the HR proposals?
Yeah.
So the first ones that we already know about are like a soft and hard stop on. Recruitment and billing. And then we also have our income, but that's kind of a separate thing. We might go over that today. I don't know. Let's see. Okay. Where are those proposals? Here we go. Proposals. So we're going to cover the recruitment one and then the billing one. Wait, let's see here. Next. So we're going to cover the soft stop and hard stop proposals next. Okay. But let me quickly go over the other proposals just so people know what they are. So basically, I'm proposing that we don't do the senior sextant managers until the recruitment is done. And then also that I think that we really need to activate the Americas shifts before all the rest of the old world shifts. So
run that by me again.
So the proposal would be that the old world, would be helping make sure that everything in the Americas, I mean, we're hiring the entire old world support staff and everything to support the Americas. And, obviously we want the old world to be self-sufficient and self-functioning, but right now it's dependent on the Americas because the Americas is where all the money is, all the effort is. I mean, we're the founding and creating this global network, right? So
and we have nobody working.
And we have no one working. So it's just like we're hiring all these people in the old world to help with the Americas, and it's not working. Right? We're not actually getting the support that we need to meet our goals. So one of the ideas would be that, basically the old world can't just go off and do whatever they want to and do all their bonus hours and blah, 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 unless the Americas is taken care of first. And that's your primary goal, is making sure and supporting the Americas so that the old world can get, like the new world should be supported so the old world can get more independent. Right? Old world. Anyways, hopefully that makes sense. So that's one proposal. From there, I'm proposing that we actually break up into octants. We've already been talking about focusing on recruiters and getting recruitment. That'll be one of our primary recruitment goals. And we'll talk about that more in a second. But the idea is basically to break up into octants instead of sextants. I was thinking about that our 5-hour shifts are kind of silly because everyone needs a break. But if we split up into 8 octants instead of 6 sextants, one is you have 4-hour shifts. So it create a simple 4-hour shift, and there's no need to worry about breaks for that. And then people only have to do 4 hours instead of 5 hours, which makes it a little easier. There's other tasks and jobs and work to do. It works out to exactly 15 hours. 15 hours per senior manager. So it's like a part-time job instead of like 3/4 time. And from there, it's simpler, more straightforward. This also creates exactly 2 teams of 8 senior managers, which require 5 yes votes out of 8, which I think is a good percentage of people. Because right now we're in this weird like 6 and 12 is like an odd numbers, whereas 8 I think would be a good number for senior sextant managers for our quarter moon sessions. And it wouldn't cost much more. It'd only be about you know, maybe $500 to $1,000 additional in cost.
My only question is, we're having a hard time filling the senior manager shifts we have. Are we going to have a harder time filling more senior manager shifts?
Well, there would be more shifts, but they would be slightly smaller, and so people could potentially do more of them. It'd be easier to break them up because they're 4 hours, so you could easily take on 2 shifts instead of just 1, right? And even in a single day, right? So I think it would actually allow us a more flexibility for filling up the shifts in some ways, right? Because the shifts themselves would be shorter and easier to fill. Additionally, the idea is if we think this is a good idea, then in our recruitment and everything we're doing, if we're going to move forward with it all, we should, if this is something we want to do, to not plan for it right away. It's going to take us potentially, you know, 3 months, over the next 3 months, right, until the next Venus session, to get and reestablish from going from sextants to octants. Does that make sense? So if we do decide to do this, it's going to take a very long time to transition.
My other question is, how would the world be broken up in octants?
That's all would have to be worked out. So it would take like 10 hours.
So this is just, you know, like a theory that we might want to do, and we're going to look into it and see if it's feasible.
Yeah, so we're not voting on it now. All right. Then, of course, the focus on recruiting recruiters, 1 for each octant/sextant. Sextant, so that's fine. And then everyone is checking regularly with everyone else. So we really do need to do evaluations, and we need to improve our communications. Basically, I want to have mandatory check-ins going soon. I have a couple details there to make it a little, but the key thing is everyone needs to be checking in with everybody else so everyone knows what everyone's doing. And then obviously I want to take it easy for a while longer. There's no hurries on this stuff. Our focus needs to be on income. Focus on income stability first and foremost. So we'll get to all this other stuff. But that's it. Those are my proposals that I have right now for HR. Cool. Any other questions on these other proposals? Are you guys ready to go on to the recruitment proposals?
I'm ready.
Okay. Cool. So the district.
Just a question on recruitment. Focus on recruitment for 1 for each sextant. So we just need 1 person for each sextant.
In relationship to recruitment, yeah. And we have 2 new recruitment coordinators, although one of them is Joyce, who's doing a lot of other coordinator and executive positions, so it's just concerning. And everybody's doing a lot, but we just need to refocus. And yeah, okay, so we probably need a billing manager as well, or a coordinator. All right, so yeah, that's actually probably pretty important. And I was thinking that in addition to our billing, so do we get anyone for rankings? For billing coordination, there also is another position called accounts receivable. What is the position?
I'm going to take that.
What is the position related to accounts receivable?
Bookkeeping.
That would be finances.
Bookkeeping.
The finances would be bookkeeping.
Right. Well, that's all bookkeeping. Accounts receivable, accounts payable. Trust me, my mother was a bookkeeper for 50 years. That's what she did all day long. Accounts receivable and accounts payable.
Why don't we just say that the billing coordinator also coordinates accounts receivable?
All right.
Does that sound like a good idea? I mean, obviously, accounts receivable is also organized by the bookkeeper and the financial coordinators. But basically what I'm saying is that we need to make sure we get paid by our clients. Does that make sense? And the billing coordinator can bill and make sure we get paid simultaneously. Whereas the financial person is just making sure that the books are taken care of and not necessarily the actual relationships. Okay, that's not good?
Yeah.
So I
in
think,
our business model, I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, in our, you know.
yeah, I mean, we just need one position that's basically like the billing coordinator that's organizing all the billing, but then also there's another responsibility under that coordinator position. And the responsibility is, you know, it's actually lined up with payroll. So it's similar to payroll, but it's not payroll. It's just like, sure, we receive. So it's kind of like the opposite of payroll, right? We can't pay everybody unless we receive the money, okay? And this needs to happen right away. So someone can help out with this responsibility. Can someone help with this?
Yeah, I will.
Okay, cool. So that what it's going to take is you know, we just need to go over. We control a lot of our internal payments, right? Because we kind of can coordinate a lot of the money. So we just simply need to transfer funds from client accounts to bus accounts. Okay. We just need to make sure that that is done in relationship to billing.
This might not be the right time for this, but this is your first reminder to deal with the 3 banks about the $5,000.
Oh yeah, that's very important as well.
Right.
That can
Yes,
be part
this
of
is your
accounts
first
receivable
reminder.
too.
Right, you will get many reminders from me, Jay.
Cool.
You know,
Good.
I will
good.
stay on you about that
I
one.
love it. That's what I want to hear. Okay, so for billing and coordination, ranking coordinators, can you see if you can find anyone from the other teams?
I did. I messaged them. I went over there. I'm gonna pop out of our hangout and pop into theirs.
Okay, yeah.
Like,
Check in
you
on
know.
billing as well. Yeah, good. Okay. All right, so
All right.
we're gonna go into the soft and hard stuff. So income. So the income, we might go over Canopy a little bit today. Canopy is our main income goal. For now, the goal is bring is $5,000 per month. We're having a problem with that because everything's just tanking and we're losing, you know, tens of thousands of dollars a day. Luckily, we can still bring in money even, or not. Yeah, it's just outrageous. Luckily, we can still bring in money even when we can still have income even when the entire everything is tanking. Anyways, so our goal is $5,000 a month for Canopy, and what we need to do with that is simply to actually calculate. So this is mainly calculations. All right, so and I think overall we're pretty good. I mean, last time I checked, it was about, you know, $5,000 to $10,000 of income generated. So we were getting close, but it was going down because everything was crashing. It's just a whole mess, and I need lots of help. All right. So Canopy, just so you guys understand, like Canopy is going to be, you know, 15 to 20 people working on it like full time across the world. Right. So and currently we have 1.2 people. Okay, so you can see how what?
Can we sign up now, Dave, for that?
No, it's not something you can sign up for. It's something you have to participate in.
Ah, okay.
I'm back.
So any and everybody can get involved with Canopy, but you know we have to just prioritize it, and maybe we'll get to it today as part of our goals, and then from there it's just lots and lots and lots of training. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And it's so like, I mean, over the last 6 or 8 months, we've learned a lot of stuff, right? Right? We've done a lot, and there's a lot of like complicated things like running sextants, you know, senior sextant managers. I mean, there's a lot of details, and then there's and you guys can already see it's the tip of the iceberg of everything I've ever done before in my entire life. Canopy and what's entailed with it, and all the things going on with it, is the biggest project I've ever tried to do. It's huge. It's just so much going on and so overwhelming and so many components, and it's like everything has to be exact, and it's just like.
And you can't let it make you crazy.
Yeah, you don't want to let it make you go crazy, but it's gonna. I think it's gonna work out, but it's gonna take a lot more commitment than a lot of the other things that we do. Does that make sense? So I don't see everybody involved in the FQN community network being involved in Canopy at a high level. But some people may be very interested in helping out of it. I think overall, the $5,000 to support Canopy, right? So if you think about it, there's $5,000 being paid from Canopy to FQN Community Network for support. Does that make sense? So these support roles are important, but that's not Canopy. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Canopy is different, right? So Canopy is the actual company, whereas the support roles is basically exactly the same as what we did for EXA. Does that make sense? So Canopy is separate from FQN Community Network, the same as EXA was separate, and we want to do all the same support roles that we did for EXA, but you didn't need to actually know what was going on within EXA because we were just supporting EXA, right? So the same thing would be with Canopy, except we need both. So for Canopy, we also need people to work internally within Canopy as well as just supporting Canopy, okay?
Can somebody put down on the dock that SIF is going to do the billing with me and all that entails, and nobody wants to step up for the rankings coordinator? At least not as of yet.
I'm going to put myself in the rankings coordinator position because I think it's very, very important. And I think I should be more involved in the rankings, but I need someone to help me. So we'll get there.
Well, I'll help you with it.
Nice. Jay and Steve. Yes, that sounds
like good. As always, even after we argue, as always, brother.
Of course. But I mean, you can imagine why the rankings coordination is so important. I mean, it determines so much of the whole network, of everything. Yeah. And decision making and all this stuff. Okay. So let's see. Canopy involvement. So everybody should understand that there's two levels. So of the $5,000, this is going to take the entire FQN community team members, right? So the support roles are all the same as EXA. And then there's going to be an additional 15 to 20 people working internally on Canopy across the world, right? So we might eventually hire people who literally only work on Canopy. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But that's separate from the $5,000 we get from Canopy, right? So for Canopy to run successfully, it's probably going to have a $20,000 per month budget. If we're able to get Canopy functional, right? Like if we were functional a couple weeks ago, like I've been working on this for over a month, right? If people stepped up, we all focused on Canopy right away and we got it done and we hired people and we were just like bam, 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 bam. We could have, like we've already lost out on hundreds of thousands of dollars disappearing, right? So if we were just on it, we could have made literally $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 over the last month, right? But we're not on it. So we've lost hundreds of thousands of dollars. All right. So anyway, and we're literally talking about $10,000 a day. Every time I go, within Canopy. So Canopy has about 10 accounts. And I go and I check an account, and then it'll be like negative $1,000 for the day. And so times 10, it's $10,000 a day. There's $1,000 negative for each account. It's like outrageous. So, I mean, the amount of money we're losing is so ridiculous. It's very, very concerning to me, which is why I'm focusing almost all of my hours on Canopy. And that's why I think it's like our top priority, even more important than payroll. Because payroll is great and all, but like everyone's been paid already. We're willing to pay anyone we want to, whenever. We have plenty of money, so just ask for it, we'll pay you. But if we don't stabilize our finances and we continue to lose tens of thousands of dollars a day, that's a major, major problem. You know what I mean? So I feel like that has to take priority. We need to stabilize our income. We need to stabilize our finances, because the entire cyber currency, market and industry is in disarray. I mean, everything's going insane over the last couple of weeks, and I've been trying to deal with it. I'm doing it all by myself, and it's way too much, and it's way overwhelming. And I mean, for me, it's just like I could care less. It's like I'm like sick. I've been feeling terrible. I've been pushing myself way too hard to deal with all of this by myself, and or not 100% by myself, but 99% by myself. And so it's it's like, you know, I'm just like, screw it. You know, we lose $10,000, we lose $10,000. Like, I'm going to bed. You know what I mean? And, you know, but I try my best to like get as much done as I can. But overall, it's like, you know, we were already losing tens of thousands of dollars a day, but then the next day we would gain $10,000. The only difference between what happened before and now is that we're actually starting to track how much money we're actually losing every day. And it's just the whole market's been going down, 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 down. So before we would go up $10,000 one day and down $10,000 one day. Now it's just going down day after day. Right, so it's a little more concerning, and we're actually tracking it, so we actually know how much money we're starting to have an idea of how much money we're losing every day, and so that's why it's like, oh my God, let's turn it into U.S. dollars and do whatever, so we don't lose it all. Right. All right, cool. So that's with our income. Any questions on our income? This isn't really. This is basically already a hard stop, already in soft stop and hard stop. Stop, and that basically the hard stop would be in a month if we don't have income. So if we lost all of our money and we don't have any income, then basically not only would it be hard stop, it would be beyond hard stop, because we would have to you know, let people go, aka fire people for lack of money. Okay. So this is a little beyond a normal soft stop or hard stop, because if our income dissipates and we lose all our money because the market tanks, then, I mean, that's it. We just don't have any money. We can't do anything about it. Does that make sense?
Which is why we need to maybe get some more outside clients in.
Yes, but we also need to, like it's great to focus on getting outside clients, but when we're bleeding $10,000 a day, and if we just did the work, we could be saving $10,000 a day.
Right.
It just doesn't make sense, you know? So it's like, let's get our finances organized and stabilized, and then we can worry about bringing in new clients. You know, but I 100% agree, we do need new clients, and also we have lots of potential new clients. We just have to work with them, and there's already that responsibility for doing our sheet of all of our different services that we offer. All right, so let's go on to recruitment. Ready for recruitment?
Yeah.
All right. So the proposal for recruitment is one, recruitment focused person in each sextant, and octant if we decide to go to octant. Two, local SFA position. Still do not have anyone, right? So we had like, you know, 4 to 6 people interested, but it's like no one's following up with them. No one's like, you know, communicating with them. Like there's other issues with the university, other things going on. So it's just like, we gotta figure that out. 3 would be our goal here. This would be maybe a little longer term, possibly longer term is each team across the world. I know, that's longer team. So this would be our long-term goal. Longer term goal, each team across the world has like 5+ members. Both paid and unpaid. Both unpaid and all right, and then number 3 is fill all senior managerships. And then the other proposal is we don't do senior managerships until they're filled, and then we definitely need to fill the Americashifts before we do. Yeah, so that's the proposal, is to don't do the senior managerships until they're all filled. Okay. So I think that's pretty much it. So, oh yeah, the timeline. So the timeline would be, oh man, I don't know, like new moon would be soft stop, and then the next new moon would be hard stop, something like that. So this would give us 3 weeks, and then this would be 11 weeks. All right.
Okay.
So I think overall the what I'm proposing here is that we make sure that we're prioritizing recruitment, but that we don't kill ourselves. Like our priority focus should be on income. You know, we can always move up the deadline if we want to. But so there's so basically 3 proposals here. The first proposal is the focus of what we want to accomplish. The goal. This is the goal of proposal. Proposal goal. And you have the proposal of like, waiting to activate senior managers. And then the timeline would be giving ourselves as much as 11 weeks before the hard stop would start. So it would give us 11 weeks to do all the recruitment and get everything organized. And obviously this is
that's
dependent.
a long time. We should be able to get it done in that amount of time.
Yeah, but it's like, I don't want to kill ourselves. We said, oh, we got 3 weeks, and then the hard stop, it would be like, we'd be dying. You know what I mean? It's like, there's no way we could do it.
We've been there and done that also. So,
yeah. So I would say this is a pretty good timeline. It's pretty reasonable. And then also we would say that it's dependent on our income, right? Dependent on our income stabilizing.
Jay, is it guarantee if we involve ourselves internally in Canopy that we will have a stable income?
No. The only stable income right now is the direct HR position. So the 4 people who are in the direct HR positions are basically guaranteed for a longer term, like 6 months to longer, 6 to 8 months. Okay. Everybody else is, including myself, could be out of the job. So Canopy currently is our top priority for building income, but the income from Canopy is dependent on FQN Community Network getting our income. Does that make sense? So Canopy has its income and its clients, and then FQN Community Network, our primary client right now is Canopy. Right? So Canopy has clients. So Canopy clients, there's currently 3 funds, I believe, that we're overseeing. 3+. And these clients pay Canopy for overseeing finances. Then Canopy pays FQN Community Network to help support the work. So there's 2 levels of work. One level is for supporting the work, which includes all of the finances, taxes, communications, admin, yeah, etc. All of it, the whole 9 yards, everything that we do. Okay, and then the Canopy. I mean, $5,000 is a lot of money. So then within Canopy, there's also additional, like internal is basically trading, right? Trading and overseeing the funds. And when I say funds, I don't mean the money. I'm talking about the funds themselves, right? So we have 3 funds right now. There's the Bitcoin fund, the Bitcoin Cash fund, and the Ether fund. And eventually we'll have more. All right. So are we all on the same page here?
Okay, Jay. What? Yes, my
We'll go over.
question, JL.
We have it on our
If
agenda.
we will involve.
We have on our agenda to talk about stabilizing with Canopy if we have it on our other topics after we do our goals for the next 3 months. But what's your question, Joyce?
My question is, if we want to be involved internally, the trading part, we can help in stabilizing the Canopy income.
Anybody can help stabilize the Canopy income by just helping, right? The number one most important thing for Canopy, most important thing is calculating the funds, right? So there's two types of calculations. There's accounting, how much is there, period, right? We don't even know how much money we have because it's just not organized and we have to do all the accounting is we don't do accounting, right? And plus with everything dropping and just like collapsing, it's like how much money do we have left, right? You know, if we had $60,000 before or $100,000 before in this account, now maybe there's only 30,000 or 40,000 left, right? So that's the accounting, and then the other one is the gains / losses. Okay. So if we don't calculate the gains or losses, we can't. It's impossible. Oops. It is impossible to have income without this. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So this is the number one most important thing. Obviously, the easiest way to think about the trading is going to be very similar to running payroll. Right? So trading and running payroll are going to be very similar to each other, where it's like you only need one trader. The actual trades happen very quickly. You just push some buttons and things like that. It does take time, just like running payroll, but it's a treasurer position, et cetera, et cetera. But we need someone working with everybody in real time to figure out what the trades are going to be. And because that's the hard work, that takes hours, figuring out what we want to buy and sell and how much to do.
Yes.
And then the actual tracking of all the trades and all the tracking of all of the funds. That's it's way more than I could ever do myself. Okay.
Okay.
So that's doing the trading and real-time trading. Real-time trading is very similar to running real-time payroll. Real-time payroll and bills, etc. So and paying bills. So basically, my point, Joyce, is that you saying you want to be involved is not enough. What you need to do is actually show up and talk to me and coordinate and actually get and help. Period. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. So, and this is not the place for these questions. We have a place in our agenda, which is right here: priority, stabilize with Canopy, focusing on Canopy, training on Canopy. That's where we're going to talk about this. So you're bringing it up at the wrong time, and you're holding up getting our recruitment. Right now, we're talking about recruitment. All right.
Oh, okay.
Any other questions on Canopy or our income? And Steve is 100% right. You know, getting new clients is just as important as Canopy because there's no guarantee Canopy is even going to work. If it does work, it'll be huge, and it will really help us because our own finances are so unstable that if we can stabilize our finances, we could easily get other clients who want us to stabilize their finances. Well,
as we said, we're going to prioritize a session where you can tell me what we need for the one sheeters, and I'll at least take care of that. You know, when you have an hour that we can start to prioritize it. Right now, I know you're swamped with Canopy, so I'm not trying to but we do need to do it. Yeah. On another note, none of us have been keeping time or tracking anything else. We are now 1 hour and 55 minutes into the meeting without any breaks. It's 10:55. It's 55 minutes past the hour. I propose a 5-minute break since we haven't had one in 2 hours.
Great.
For people to get something to drink, go to the bathroom, what they got to do.
All right, so
from.
let's do a 5-minute break. When we come back, we'll vote on this recruitment proposal. Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
But you can let the other group know that we're on a break and that we have the proposal ready for the recruitment. We just haven't voted on it yet.
All right.
Hello guys, sorry for disturbing you. Asif Iqbal has left and we are 4 there, so can we join you guys?
We're on a 5-minute break now. Ask us when we come back. We're all out of the room.
Okay, sorry.
We'll let you know as soon as Jay gets back. I'll let you know. All right. Or send it over on the Skype. That way, people can read it. Honey.
Yep.
I'm a little stuck here. Can you move that table out from under the legs so I can drop the legs?
No. Anyone back yet?
Yes, I'm back.
So the other team wants to know, Asif left, and they want to know if they can come and join us.
Well, there's only like 4 of them. Oh, there's 5 of them. 4 or 5?
Well, now there's 5 of us and 4 of them.
9. Well,
Yeah.
what do you guys think? I mean, we just have to vote whether we want to be separate or want to be a whole group. I would propose that we stay separate as long as we can, but whatever you guys want to vote. So I would vote staying separate. Albina, how do you want to vote?
Separate.
Joyce?
Probably separate also. Although, like you said, they're not very functional without us if they're maybe.
Well, we could always send somebody over there. And have them send someone over here and switch.
Well, we can just send them the proposals, I guess, and let them vote on the proposals. And
all right, let's just say like 30 minutes. Let's give us like 30 to 45 minutes, and then we'll join the groups. Does that sound good to everyone?
All right.
Or 30 minutes to an hour.
Yeah.
Say between 30 minutes and an hour, we'll rejoin the groups. But then we should vote on the proposals. All right, so are we ready to vote on this proposal? So the proposal is that we're going to have a recruitment soft stop in 3 weeks. So it gives us 3 weeks to finish the recruitment. Otherwise, we would go into a hard stop after 11 weeks. So it gives us an additional month of soft stop to get the recruitment done. The goal is to be to have a recruitment person for each section, local SFA position. We still do not have one. I want to mention here is really important. Like 9 months ago, when we first started everything with the client, I said over and over and over and over and over and over again, if we do not get a local position, someone helping me locally, we will fail. Right? We didn't hire a local person. We failed. Okay? Like I can say the same thing right now with Canopy, with everything that we're doing, it's all going to fail if we don't hire a local position to help. There's no way around that. There literally is no physical possible way that everything that we're trying to do is going to work without hiring a local person. You know, so I don't know how to make it clearer to anybody. Like it's just not physically and humanly possible to do what we're trying to do without local support. So if people ignore the position again and don't get it hired, like it's not going to work out, and everyone's going to lose it. Everyone's going to lose their position. I mean, it's not going to happen.
And there are people who want to work for us. So I mean, somebody got to step up and get them hired.
Yeah, and it's partly their problem. I mean, they need to step up as well and like start working. But right, sorry, say again.
We want to join you guys because we are only 4 there on that hangout, and can we join you guys?
5.
Asif Iqbal left.
I see Iqbal left.
Asif Iqbal left.
Well, we're only 5 here. Steve, did you tell him about our decision or?
I was typing it as I answered you. Yes, I was just typing it.
Okay. Well, what we decided is that we just need a 30 minutes to 45 minutes, and that we want to get the vote on the recruitment. So you guys should vote on the recruitment proposals, and then we'll bring everyone back together. Okay.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So just 30 minutes to an
and
hour.
I'll send you the proposals as they come up.
Well, we have a recruitment proposal already. Did you send them the recruitment proposal?
I'm copying it now.
Great. All right. So I thought you were going to do that during the break, but that's fine. All right. So
No, I had to go to the CR. Sorry.
it happens. It's all good. All right. So but next time, just let us know if you can't do it, and then we can have someone else do it. Why? And we're only 4 here. We're only 5. So it's not a big deal. There's no problem. You can have 4 and 4, and you're still can be 2 groups. So I'm not sure why everyone's questioning 4 people. Okay, so does everyone understand the importance of the local SFA position?
Yes, I understand.
Cool.
I do understand.
So I don't know how to get that dealt with, but if people in the old world can't help with it, that's fine. Then help hire people in the Americas. Right? If we help hire people in the Americas, the people who are hired to help in the Americas can help hire people locally in the San Francisco Bay. You guys understand that?
Okay.
I'm not hearing anything about understanding. I'm hearing silence and grunting.
I understand that. I mean,
it shouldn't be that complicated to hire people in the Americas. We just need to get people. Like, how many posts have been made on Outsourcely over the last month? How many posts? So this is something that Joyce and Albina should know. If you guys are now the managers for recruitment and outreach, you should know how many posts are getting posted on Outsourcely and other places. That's something that you guys should be tracking, okay?
Yes.
and all the information, a lot of it's on the recruitment, the Google group. So you just got to keep,
But the answer is probably either 1 or 0, right? And we should be posting like 10 a month on Outsourcely, right? For all the different positions and all the different places across the world, right? And it's just like, we need to be recruiting in the Americas so that people in the Americas can help with the local SFA. Like, it's just the idea that people in the old world are somehow magically going to help everything in the San Francisco Bay Area when you guys are all sleeping doesn't make a lot of sense, right? And then on top of that, our America's recruitment has been dismal, and we really, are losing more people than we're gaining. Is that correct, Steve? Are we losing more people than we're gaining right now?
Close to it, yeah.
Yeah.
We're about breaking even, maybe.
Yeah. So anyways, the point is that, like, something needs to change. Because I don't think, yeah. Anyways, we'll give it 3 weeks. If something doesn't change in 3 weeks, then there's going to be some major problems.
Listen, let me just say something. This is to the two new recruitment people. There are at least 3 or 4 people who showed serious interest in doing the work in San Francisco Bay. Everybody thinks that Jay has to call them. No, Jay doesn't have to call them. You can get them into a session when Jay's going to be there, so Jay can, explain the details of it. But until then, one of you guys or somebody can tell them what the job entails. That we've had more than one time Jay explain exactly what's needed for the local San Francisco Bay people. We all know what the post looks like. Somebody can tell the people exactly what it entails. We're already offering them a ton of money to work San Francisco Bay, so the money shouldn't be a problem. It's just connecting the people, getting them to come to a session maybe, so Jay can talk to them, or finding a time when they can both talk to each other, but not say, well, here, Jay, call these people. They don't have time.
And again, it isn't a phone call. That's the phone call itself. I have talked to these people. I've talked to them on the phone multiple times. That's not the problem. It's not the phone call and talking to them and calling them. It's the 20 responsibilities and tasks that it takes to organize a local session. Right? It's like when we do a global session, you turn on the Hangout and you're done, right? Local sessions, you have to deal with all of the physical spaces, the scheduling. People have to travel. Making sure everybody knows where they're going to be, making sure they know how to get there, making sure that they know what time it's at, and that everyone agrees to the time, and that they physically have to be able to make it there. It's just, there's 10 times more complicated things because it's a physical in-person meeting than it is with just a phone call or a Hangout. Right. And then in addition to that, it's like a human life, right? There's going to be everything related from insurance needs to all of the employee paperwork. I mean, it's just, there's so much that goes into hiring people. The idea that I'm supposed to just magically do it all by myself. So what is needed is daily day after day, email after email, phone call after phone call. It's nonstop, every day, over and over and over again.
And maybe we have to task one person with that responsibility of doing 3-4 hours a day.
Yeah, that's fine. But the point is that how many people and how many calls and how many emails have been made to all of our local recruits in the last week? And the answer is probably 0.
None, I'm sure.
Because no one cares.
None, I'm sure.
Nobody gives a shit. You know, so it's like, that's fine. No one gives a shit. So let's just fire everybody in the old world, hire people in the Americas, and then maybe someone will care. You know, it's just like something needs to change. This is outrageous that no one cares. You know, because it's just like, it just doesn't make any sense to me. Does it make sense to you guys? Because if there's other problems, we should talk about it now. Like, because what are people doing?
I was about to say, there got to be some people who don't have that many responsibilities that they're so busy that they can't step up and do this. I mean, you know, and for me to say I'm going to do it, I'm swamped, Jay's swamped, you know, somebody else got to do it. And I'm not saying it's any of the 4 people who are here or 3 people who are here. I'm not putting it on you, you know.
No, but it is on us, though. It is on us. If we don't do the work, we are the managers. We're the executives. We need to make sure someone's doing it, right? It's not enough to say, like, oh, it's not my responsibility. It's like, no, you need it. If you're not as an executive, you don't have the option to just say, oh, it's not my responsibility. No, as an executive, you have to find someone to take responsibility for it. Period. Right? Executives are very different than managers. Executives actually have to make sure things happen, whereas managers just report back, you know, whether things happened or not. Executives must actually follow through and get things happening. Right? So some of this is on Joyce's and Albina's hands now, you know, to make sure this is followed through. And we need somebody in the Americas stepping up on this. And we need to hire someone in the Americas who's helping out with as recruitment, as their only purpose and their only goal is recruitment. So that means that we need, right? So the priority, hire one person to work with Albina and Joyce as a recruitment manager in the Americas. So we now have 2 people in the old world who are helping with recruitment and outreach, but we need somebody in the new world, right? So we need to hire a recruitment manager. This means we need to create a post. Right? Do you guys know how to create a post focused on recruitment? Can you guys do that? Yeah. New posts on Outsourcely and Craigslist or wherever, right? And then hire them.
Yeah.
I mean, it shouldn't be that complicated. We just need to hire somebody who's going to focus exclusively or almost exclusively on recruitment, and they need to be in the Americas so that they can help Joyce and Albina.
Right. You might want to talk to Jorge because I know he set up a new Craigslist because they had to verify they needed a U.S. phone number, and they used my phone number to verify the account. So I know they set up a new Craigslist. Just make sure they don't post more than once a day on Craigslist. And nobody does because then we'll have problems. You know.
Cool. All right. Well, let's get this vote. Let's get this vote done. So, do we want to vote on these separately or all at once?
Excuse me.
So my question is, do we want to vote on all these together or do we want to vote on them separately?
I think we can vote on them all together since they're all recruitment proposals.
Okay. Are there any questions regarding the proposals? Or any more questions?
For my...
Okay. Any concerns? No. All right. So let's do a roll call vote. We have Steve, Abdul, Albina, Joyce. Okay. Emo, yes. Steve, Abdul, Albina, Joyce.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Yes, yes, yes.
All right, so that is consensus. All right, so then we just need to get the other group agreeing to the recruitment, soft stop and hard stop.
They have the proposals. I'm going to see how they're doing on them.
Okay, but stay here. You can just send a
So,
Skype. Let's
Jay, we will stop the senior manager shifts now.
Yeah, senior manager shifts are over for two reasons. One is that we haven't done our recruitment. So it's like, and we have all these gaps. Like the whole point of the global senior manager shifts is that there's one continuous loop where everybody is communicating and talking with each other and sending information between the senior
Well,
section managers.
have you looked at the schedule lately?
Maybe last week.
Take a look at it again. I think it's kind of filled in.
Who's doing the Americas?
I have 2.5 in the Atlantic. Let me get it open. The senior sector manager. Here we go.
So the whole point of this proposal is that Miguel. Mm-hmm.
Miguel. Well, the two in Nelly are a problem. Mazi.
There's three sextants. There's three sextants that need 6 managers. So there needs to be 6 managers minimum.
1.
And I only count 3.
Mazi's here. We got a lot of level 3s, it looks like, yeah.
But level 3 doesn't matter. We don't mind level 3. Level 3 is fine because we can easily train them and get them to level 4.
Well, Miguel, Mazi, me, you.
Mazi, on the other hand, is not really level 3 even. I mean, he's so new. He's, does he want to take a senior manager shift on?
Yes.
He does?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, cool. That's good.
And he's been working with me in our shift to get himself, trained fairly, quickly.
All right. Well, we're getting close. We're getting close. So the idea is that we have to activate and get all of the America's senior manager shifts functional and going before we would do the old world manager shifts. And then that should encourage the old world to actually support the Americas and the new world. Because I think like right now there's a disconnect where the old world just seems to be content, doing their own thing and letting us flail. Because right now we've been flailing for months and months and months, and the Americas has been falling apart and not being functional, and it's destroying everything, And I don't think that the old world is really stepping up to the plate to support, what needs to get done, So the idea is like if having all of the old world senior manager shifts all filled and active when the Americas aren't is just not helpful. So it's like every single day after day after day, the old world people should be scheduling buddy team sessions with the new recruits in the new world and getting them trained and up to level 4. You know what I mean? So when I say that we need to activate this America's senior shifts before the old world shifts, it's like because Miguel and other people are not at level 4 yet, the old world's focus should be getting everybody in the Americas to level 4.
Right.
So that we can have a functional senior section manager system.
All right. Got you.
Cool. But yeah, so I think we're getting close. And then once we get the Americas ships all set up and active, then we can start all of the senior section manager shifts. Even before all the recruitment positions are filled. So the recruitment hard stop is technically separate from waiting for the activating the senior section manager shifts. Okay.
Right.
Yeah. And that wouldn't stop until the hard stop would begin in 11 weeks. So in 11 weeks, that's when the senior manager shifts would be stopped. You know, if we are not able to, if we still can't activate the American senior manager shifts, then we wouldn't, or if the New World shifts, we still wouldn't have them. But if we can, then we can start those at any time. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You guys understand that?
Of course, yeah. The one with Nelly at level. I don't think Nelly's gonna be doing senior manager shifts. So
no. Joyce and Albina, do you guys understand?
Yes, we do.
Joyce?
The other thing, just so you know, I don't know who has it, but the senior manager shift schedule is view only.
Yeah, it's supposed to be view only. Only senior managers should have access to it.
Well, we don't all have access.
All right, well, let's just tell me who we need to add, and we'll add whoever we need to.
Me, me and us. Diff, actually.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, the main reason for that is because
you don't have access. Nobody has access.
No, I've got access to it, and I've shared it with a bunch of people too. But overall, there's an obvious reason. There's an obvious reason why the senior manager shift is not publicly editable, and that is because it determines who the decision maker is for our executive decisions. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So if someone changed it without consulting it, it could cause legal problems. All right, so we want to share. So it says I definitely shared it with Asif. And we want to share it with Steve. Anyone else that needs it?
Albina.
Abdul.
Abdul. I don't have your email, Abdul. It's not working. What's your email, Abdul? Can you link it?
I send on Hangout.
I don't see it. Oh, there it is. It came up. Oh, maybe I do have it. It's just with an H. There it is. Okay. All right. Cool. All right. So that's done. All right. So where are we now? All right. Billing, right? We're ready for the billing?
Yeah, we're ready to billing.
Okay. And Steve, can you see if the other group approved the proposals for recruitment?
Yes, I can.
You want to Skype them, ask them if they did?
I am right now.
All right. So the billing is, I think it would be the same timeline. And the goals are, one, that each sextant team is billing to bus for the primary types of paid hours. So these paid hours are A, client hours, and external. This would be external client hours. B, internal client hours. And C, business operations. Okay. And they need to be priorities, right? Must be priority work. So this is like create.
Mention the which one our external client and which one is our internal client.
External clients would be like EXA.
Boy, Anthony, VZ, that's a mess.
Yeah, I think that's it. And then internal clients would be like FQN taxes, FQN Mo taxes.
What about Innovate United? Is that internal or?
Yeah, Innovate United would be internal. Jello, Canopy. Okay, does that make sense? Business operations would be like payroll, billing, finances, our own internal finances, right? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. All right, so then choose to create invoices, use template, and document hours based on work category. So I think that's pretty much it. Can you guys think of anything else that that is required for billing?
No, that looks pretty good.
Yeah. So the bottom line is simple. Bottom line, we basically have these 6 clients, right? EXA. Well, it's actually just VZ EXA Mesh, right?
Yeah.
EXA technically fired us. I mean, we could just pull up our income from our last meeting. But Jorge entities is $1,000. Taxes is $1,000. 500 for Jello. 5,000 for Canopy. What does that get us total? So 5, 6, 7, 8. There should be one more.
8.
There should be, the total should be 9,000. I don't remember what the other one was. Can you guys think of what the other one is?
I think most taxes.
Well, no, that's this one right here.
Okay, let me see. Hold on.
We're missing one other. Whatever. Okay, so the point is that it adds up to $9,000, right? So what that means.
This position, legal art.
Oh yeah. So this is EXA, RICO, legal art support. Okay. So $9,000. So this means we have 4,500, which is half, goes to internal business operations. Okay, that makes sense?
Okay.
Right? So half can be billed for internal business operations. And then each one of these is like, we have $250 for VZ EXA Mesh. We've got $500 for Jorge entities. We've got $1,000, or no, $500 for FQN No taxes. We've got $250 for Jello. We've got $2,500 for Canopy and $500 for RICO ARC support. Okay, so it's like if everybody across the entire world and all the senior Sextant teams worked and billed for, VZ EXA Mesh. Like, oh, we're just gonna work on VZ EXA Mesh. We're all gonna work on VZ EXA Mesh. We're all gonna bill for VZ EXA Mesh. Guess what happens? Everyone's gonna get fired, right? Because you're only gonna have $250 for the entire world. Does that make sense? So not only do you have to bill for your time, you actually have to consider the amount of money in each of the pools that you're billing for, right? So if you bill towards VZExaMesh and that's all your team works on, there's only $250, that's the maximum amount of money that your team can bring in for working on VZExaMesh. Does everyone understand?
Yes.
So what are our priorities for work?
Right now, the biggest one is, come on, people, Canopy, it has the most money.
Yeah. So basically, if your team wants to get paid, you better be working on something that has money behind it. Otherwise, you're not getting paid. Does that make sense?
But that doesn't mean not to do it. Wait. But that doesn't mean not to do the VZExaMesh work. Just not to only do VZExaMesh work.
Yeah.
You know, because that has to get done also.
Yeah. And remember, our plan is obvious. I mean, getting $250 to VZExaMesh is a joke, right? So our plan is to document all of the hours, and if we spend more money,
let's just go there and join them because they don't want to answer us. Let's go and join them.
What are we not answering?
Can we not interrupt?
What are we not answering? What do we?
Let's go.
What do we not answer? Did you guys, Lucy? Did you guys vote on the proposal? Lucy, I'm confused. Did you guys vote on the proposal? All right. Anyway, so the point that I'm trying to make is that if we work more than $250 on VZExaMesh, all we have to do is document the hours and the work and the cost. Like, let's say we spend $1,000 on VZExaMesh, right, for the month. Then we send the bill to the client for the actual costs. You guys understand?
Yes. Yes.
The fact that we aren't doing that and we haven't done that for 9 months means that we're losing all of our money. It's the reason why we lost our client with Exa, because they didn't know how much we were actually spending. Okay?
They didn't know how much work we were actually doing.
Okay, so can you guys?
They would have known how good a deal they was getting.
Yeah. So I mean, we're talking about basic systems of business. So basically, what we're doing is we're not going to worry about billing the clients. All you have to do is bill Umbus. Your team has to bill Umbus. If you don't, you're fired. It's that simple. It's hard stop. You know, and that'll get people serious about actually billing, because otherwise you don't have a job. Because if you don't bill for your time and the work you do, you're not going to get paid. That's how it works in the world. So are there any questions about this proposal?
No question, yeah. I understand.
Yeah. Yes. Did I lose volume with? Right on it. Ready, mind.
Okay, so why don't we go ahead and vote?
So it's not like I haven't sent them all this stuff already. They just, you know.
I mean, I don't think we did a very good job in breaking up into good teams because their team is not particularly functional. And remember, in general, the only time we break up into senior assistant managers is for quarter minutes. All right, so
I was trying to avoid any arguments, but
Again, I think
doing
avoiding
it that way,
arguments.
Jay?
I think trying to avoid arguments actually makes things worse. I think
I
the
know.
whole idea that you guys keep bringing up, like, oh, let's just ignore everything and try not to ever everyone's happy game because we just separate each other with a wall. Let's put up a wall. It's just going to make things worse. All right, so
No, because that was. I just figured that was an official way of doing it. Nobody could say I was picking favorites if I did it that way.
except for that,
Yeah, no.
elections is exactly that. That's what elections are, is picking favorites. So all right, so
Well, that's it. Well, I say that all the time.
yeah. All right. So, anyways, billing. The proposal is ready to go. Are there any changes to the proposal here? Is this perfect, or are we good?
Right, it is a proposal, but yeah, okay.
It's perfect, I think.
All right. So I think we're ready already. So is there questions?
No question, yeah.
No objection.
Concerns?
No.
None. All right. So let's go ahead and vote on this. Steve.
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
Yeah. Fine. Albina. Joyce.
Yes, from my side.
Albina. Yes. Joyce and Abdul.
My vote is yes.
Joyce. Joyce, I love the phone ring. That's great. Joyce, what happened to all the voting? Joyce, are you voting? I'll vote yes. I think we lost Joyce. Okay, so I think this.
Yeah, I said yeah. Sorry, I was on mute. Sorry, it's yes.
Okay, great.
Okay.
All right, so that is consensus. So we just need the other group to vote. Maybe, well, whenever they come back, make sure they invite them back again, Steve. See if they come back. We can move on, and when they come back, we can make sure we're all up on the same page. All right, so I'm glad we got a chance to go over this all with just us, and then the other group can come in and we can explain it all to them. But it's a little easier to explain it in a smaller group so that at least we're on the same page. All right, so what is the next topic? Recruitment. I think we've talked about recruitment enough. So I would say,
Yeah, I think so.
I would say we put that into our priorities list and we go into our 3 to 4 month goals. And we also review,
I would agree.
I think we also review our past goals, and then we could possibly check out, you know.
I don't think we did good with that past goals.
Plus they're probably changing somewhat with all the changes with exits. So let's
Yes.
Hello, guys.
Hey, is
Hi, guys.
is Lucy coming over?
Yeah, she's coming.
So the last Venus session was Tuesday, October 3rd, 2017. The Venus session happens every 112 days. So it's about 110 days. They don't happen very often. And these are our 3 to 4 month goals. So we're going to review all of these at the Aphelion. We review the goals, and then at the Perihelion, we create goals. So the way that we should think about these goals is that they're basically, this is like our midweek check-in, except instead of the midweek check-in, this is our, you know, our 3-month check-in of the half year, or it's actually technically more than half year. It'd be 225 days. Is the whole Venus cycle is 225 days. So it's a little more than a year, because 180 days would be a year. All right, so let's go backwards now. So we're gonna go over all the goals, but before we do that, I would thank you guys for coming back over, and thank you guys for doing your best. I think you know, we can do the rest of the session as a whole group, it's you know, we just do our best every time. So it's great to have you guys back here. So let's just start with general questions on the proposals. We'll make sure you guys you're totally up to speed and understand everything about the proposals. And then we'll make sure you guys get a chance to vote on them. And then we'll go into our goals, and then I think we'll be done. We can check out. So it'll probably be another half an hour or so, half an hour to hour. And we could probably take a break in like 15 minutes. And then we'll be done. And I don't know if you want to do an Atlantic session today, but that's the next session after this. I certainly couldn't continue at this point. So the secondary group that just joined us, we want to hear questions from you guys. Did you guys vote on the proposals?
Jack, can you please summarize the proposal for us?
So you guys didn't read the proposal?
Yeah, we read the proposal actually, but we didn't understand perfectly, I think.
Okay, well, that's not a summary. So the question is regarding the recruitment proposal? Which proposal are you asking a question about?
The recruitment proposal?
Okay. So does someone want to do a quick summary of the recruitment proposal? And you could basically just read it. I'm pretty sure they already read it, but they're asking us to read the summary of the proposal again.
Okay, I can read it. 1 second. Pull it back up. The proposal is this. The proposal timeline is for the new moon soft stop in 3 weeks, and the next new moon hard stop would be in 11 weeks after that.
No. It would be 11 weeks from now.
Okay.
So this would be 4 additional weeks, which equals 11 weeks from now.
Okay. The proposal goal. Recruitment focused person in each sect and octant if we decide to go to octants. Local San Francisco baby, we still don't have anyone. There were 4 to 6 people interested. We need to maybe take one person and have them coordinate, you know, meetings and times, and just have that be their role for 3-4 hours a day, maybe. We need to fill all the senior manager shifts, and we need to fill the senior manager shifts in the Americas section, because it is the goal of the old world to support the new world where the money comes from. Having the old world all filled, but the new world still mostly empty, or not empty, but understaffed, is counterproductive to us having a good financial footing, because most of the money, or all of the money, comes out of the new world, and we need people here working. So the recruitment goal to get the Americas, the new world, fleshed out before we can start going back to worrying so much about the old world being independent. That's the reasoning for this. Right, Jay? Do I got that right?
Yeah, and the proposal is that before we do the senior section manager shifts in the old world, we need to activate and engage the senior section manager shifts in the new world, in the Americas, and the new world, and that requires the old world to support the training and getting all the people in the Americas up to level 4, right? So it's like the idea is that you're actually engaged and are partnering with the whole world to support each other instead of, you know, basically what's happening currently. We want to actually change things so that there's actually an incentive to helping us, right? So that's the idea, that we would wait on the senior sextant manager shifts, and that we would stop doing the senior sextant manager shifts and focus on supporting the Americas, getting the Americas organized and active with their senior sextant manager shifts, and then starting the old world senior sextant manager shifts.
Okay, Jay, does that mean people are not going to do senior manager?
Yeah,
That's what it means.
that's the proposal. So the proposal is to stop the senior sextant manager shifts, focus on training and engaging in the Americas, getting the Americas up to par with the old world, and then once that happens, then we can start the senior sextant manager shifts.
Helping in which way? Recruiting a new members or what?
All of it. Recruiting and training of the new members. Right now, the only people in the Americas who can do senior sextant manager shifts are me and Steve. They're in Jorge, but Jorge doesn't do it, so there is nobody except for me and Steve. Is that correct, Steve, or am I?
We're the only ones at level 4, unless Nelly wants to do some. Yeah,
Nelly's not doing it. Nelly's not interested. She was never interested, really. And then also Jorge doesn't have time for it. So we need to either hire. We need to either hire more people or we need to train the existing people. Right now, my feeling is that the old world could care less, and that you guys are not really prioritizing or taking any initiative to actually make sure that the Americas has its shit together and helping us to do it. And we're paying you guys, you know, a considerable amount of money to help with it. You know, and if you guys need to hire more people to help us, that's fine. But it's not good enough. It's not okay to not be hiring the people in the Americas. And as we were mentioning before, the current recruitment statistics in the Americas is that we're technically losing people or barely staying even.
Okay.
So we need to hire.
What about the second proposal? Recruitment focus person in each sector is Octan. Kindly, can you explain for us that?
We want one person in each sextant focused on recruitment and outreach. Does anyone else want to explain it in any detail?
Yeah. Which procedures are you using to get that one person in every sector?
Hiring them. You know, so someone needs to write and post a recruitment ad on Outsourcely, on Craigslist, everywhere that specifically states that we want to hire someone for the purpose of helping support our recruitment and outreach. That's their job, right? So we're hiring them to work almost exclusively on recruitment and outreach. We need someone in the Americas first and foremost to help with the managerial side. So we need a recruitment and outreach manager in the Americas. It's not enough to just have them in the old world. We need someone also in the Americas. And then we also need people in each individual sextant to just help with recruitment and outreach for that sextant and for the world.
You know,
right now, our recruitment and outreach, we are not meeting our recruitment and outreach goals. We never have. We still are not. We need to hire people who are, you know, can help us with it, who know how to do recruitment and outreach, who are interested in focusing on it. Because right now we're not doing it.
We have 5 people in the new world doing what 20 people are doing in the old world, and it's just it's killing us. Jay gets no rest. I work, you know, weird hours. I mean, we need more people here. You know, it's that simple. Jay needs desperately. I will repeat what they weren't here when Jay said this. One of the reasons we lost EXA is that we didn't have local help in California, in San Francisco Bay. And Canopy's not going to work, and nothing else is going to work. Because Jay needs local help, because he needs people with feet on the ground to go out and do things that he doesn't have time to do, like bank relations, like client relations, like other stuff.
And dealing with 30 boxes of paperwork.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't have time about what needs to get done, and that's one of the reasons that we lost Texas, that we couldn't get everything together. And Jay can't do everything. I can't do everything. Nobody, Lucy can't do everything. We need to get more people spread out in an even layer, not 20 people in the old world and 5 people in the new world. You know, it just doesn't work. Because the money comes from the new world, and when all of you are up in the old world, nobody can deal with the stuff in the new world, because everybody here is sleeping already.
Okay, yeah, I think we can go for voting.
Razu,
Yes, Lucy.
So,
are you voting for yes, the first proposal? Voting to activate senior managers?
Yeah, I am, yes. No problem.
Okay. Razu?
Yes, for me it's yes.
Okay, the second proposal, recruitment focus person in each sector and stroke option.
Lucy, what about your vote?
I'm voting yes.
I'm not sure what that means, but anyway, so what about the other proposals? Like, there's 3 of them. We voted on all 3 together. So, Lucy, do you want to go ahead and vote on all 3 of them?
Yeah.
Lucy, was your vote for all 3, or was it only for the first one, or what?
I vote for all. That was for the first one. And the second one also. Now we are on the third one. Proposal for timeline. Timeline new moon soft stop for 3 weeks. Why are we having a soft stop, Jay, and hard stop?
So we always do a soft stop with all of our if you just go directly into hard stop, it causes a lot of chaos. So you ease into the hard stop with a soft stop. So as the soft stop begins, it's going to get harder and harder until the full hard stop in 11 weeks from now. And hopefully we can avoid the hard stop because we'll actually do the work.
Well, I'm asking, what is the soft stop for? Is it because we did not meet the recruitment, or what? We have people from that other side.
Yeah, if we don't want to have any issues with anything, then in 3 weeks from now, we will be done with all our recruitment. I mean, literally, if we just did the work, it could take us like 4 or 5 days and we could recruit everybody, right? But we'd have to be on it, and we'd have to follow up with it, and we have to do the work, and then it would take another week or so of onboarding and training to get people engaged, but we're not on it. So we're going to give ourselves 3 entire weeks to do the recruitment. We can't do the recruitment by the new moon. Then it'll be a soft stop. The soft stop will start the new moon. We'll start reducing hours. We'll start reducing our focus on everything except for recruitment until we get the recruitment up and functional. And then we have 4 additional weeks before the hard stop. And so it wouldn't be until the hard stop that we would just start actually cutting everything and except for the top priorities. So this gives us 11 weeks before, having to really deal with the repercussions of not doing recruitment.
Okay.
So do you want to vote, Lucy?
Yes.
So you vote yes?
Yes.
Okay, so Razu and Mazi.
Yes.
Yes for all of them. No.
Cool. All right, good. All right, so then the next, any other questions on the recruitment proposals and the soft and hard stop for recruitment? Okay, so let's go on to the billing.
Do we have the budget that to recruit the people?
Yes, we already
The
have
budget
a recruitment budget is rather large, right? Although our recruitment budget does need to be cut back some because we've lost lots and lots of money, probably in the range of $30,000 to $40,000. We don't really know how much money we've lost, but the point is that the recruitment budget, like our problem is not the recruitment budget. Our problem is doing the work and actually recruiting the people. So if we can recruit the people, we can pay them. Okay. So
which are the priority sector that we need to recruit the people?
Local and in the Americas. So this is going to be 120 degree west, 180 degree, and the 60 degree west. And we might there is another proposal as well to switch from sextants to octants. And we might actually switch to octants soon, which would be different. But we're not going to vote on that right now. We can talk about that later, like maybe at the Mercury session or something on Thursday. All right, so we ready to go to the billing?
Yeah.
All right, so you guys have any questions about the billing proposal? Did you guys get a chance to read over it, or should we read it again?
You can read again for us, please.
All right, who wants to go over the billing proposal?
All right. There we go. Proposal is the timeline is the same timeline as the last proposal. And the proposal is as such. New moon stuff stop in 3 weeks. Next new moon hard stop would be in 11 weeks. Goals. Each sector team is billing to UMBUS for the primary types of paid hours. External clients, which is like EXO or entities, VZXMS. Internal clients, which is FQN Taxes, Jello, and Canopy. And internal business operations, payroll, billing, finances, and etc. Must be priority work. Each sector team oversees the creation of their own billing documentations, creates invoices, uses a template, and documents hours based on work category. Must be within one of the existing UMBUS pools, the money, bottom line. We've already voted on it.
And you can see,
fine.
You can see, can you go over the bottom line UMBUS pools real quick? Because that's really important to understand.
Right. Okay, the UMBUS pools, the umbrella business pools are, and I thought we put it on the sheet, but I don't see it.
It's right here. It's just down a little. It's just under the boat.
I got it. Bottom, okay. VZXMS has $500, $250 for internal payroll. Hori entities, we get $1,000, $500 towards internal payroll. $1,000 from Taxes, $500 client billing, $500 from Jello, which is $250 for client billing. Canopy is $5,000 and $2,500 for client billing, and Escorico Legal Office is $1,000 with $500, totaling $9,000 in income and $4,500 in internal business, in billing. All right. The bills have to go. When you bill somebody, it's got to get billed to one of those sections. Either internal business. They're still typing, so I gotta wait.
No, we're good. I was just thinking about how we would break up the internal business operations budget.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, anyways,
those are basically when you bill, you have to bill to one of those. What is it? 5, 6. One of those 6 entities to bill as your client building. All right. Is that understandable to everybody?
Yes,
Yes.
Maybe we can
All
go
right.
forward.
We've already voted and passed it. How do you guys feel on it? I guess you already
Can I just add one other thing?
voted on it.
I just add one last thing. I just want to make sure it's really clear that what this hard stop means is that if your sextant team doesn't bill properly for the actual hours that you guys are working, for the actual, where the actual money is, you have to bill based on our actual existing money, right? Then you're not going to get any money, right? And so the individuals in your team will not be paid. So if you're not doing work, you're not billing based on the needs of the clients, then you're not getting paid. It's that simple.
Okay.
Can you repeat that, Jay?
Okay, I'll repeat it again. It's very, very important, right? If your team, let's just use your team, for example, Lucy, you're getting paid through the Zuri team, right? The Zuri team has its own budget. In order for the Zuri team to have enough income to bring into their team to pay people, right, it needs to bill Umbus and its clients, right? And for the work that it's doing, right? If it doesn't do the bill and therefore doesn't get paid the money, then you guys will not have money and you won't be able to pay your workers, and you will have to, you know, let people go. They will be on hard stop. They will no longer be able to get paid. Does that make sense, Lucy?
Okay. Yeah. Which type of the billing that someone sector needs to do?
I just explained that. You bill to the external clients or for internal work. If you do work for, if you're doing extra work or Anthony's or VGXMX work, you're billing Umbus to the external client. If you're doing work on Nephew and Mo Taxes, JLO Academy, you're billing Umbus to the internal clients. If you're just doing payroll, billing, finances, coordination, whatever, then you're billing for internal work. You know, you have to bill to, you know, to one of those, you know, you have to bill Umbus to one of those sections. I'll show you. I don't know who made this up, if it was Zilla or Abdul. I really don't know who created this, but I'm going to put something up in it. Jay, if you'd like to open this, this was sent to me yesterday. And it concerns billing, so I'm just going to put it down at the bottom here. Of what it, you know, a sample possible bill would be. Okay,
I mean, we have invoices and templates and bills.
Okay.
Wow. Okay.
Okay, this was sent to me, and the other thing they did was they listed all the hours that went along with it, the tracking, which is wrong, but.
I mean, obviously, at the beginning, we're going to be very laxed into how it's all formatted and everything. For our external billing, it's going to be pretty specific, and it needs to follow a specific format. But yeah, internal billing to Umbus, we're pretty laxed on how you structure it, and each team can kind of figure out. So the bottom line is, if you give us nothing, if you send nothing to Umbus, don't expect to get paid in 11 months. It's that simple. Okay. You know, so you better put together something. You know, just have something. It's like your budget. Your budget's not perfect, but every team created a budget and every team presented the budget. So this is the next step after the budget. Every single section team needs to present a bill and an invoice with the work they're doing based on the actual budgets. Right, so you need to prioritize the actual budgets of the work that needs to get done. You can't just work on whatever you want to and get paid for it, because we don't have money for that. Cool. All right, so you're ready to build.
Jay, is that the whole team need to bill, or only one person? If one person bill, that person will get paid, and the rest of the team who does not bill their work, they're not going to pay. Or everyone in the sector.
Yeah, so your sextant only needs one person to oversee the billing, right? Additionally, your sextant can hire Umbus to bill on its behalf. So you can hire somebody else from another sextant to do your sextant's team's billing. You don't have to do it yourself, right? But you have to make sure it gets done, right? And so billing will be one of the umbrella finance work, like part of the umbrella business. You know, so technically speaking, it's possible to have a single team in a single sextant across the world do all the billing for all of the teams, but either way, each team needs its own billing being done. Okay, does that make sense?
Yes, Jay.
Okay.
Yeah, so you got to bill, and you only need one person to coordinate the billing for your entire team to make sure that everyone gets paid, right? So if one person only does the bill for themselves, and it's just like their own pay for them, it's not gonna cut it. That's just basically saying like you don't care about the billing for the team and you're ignoring the needs of the team, and that's not what we're looking for. Yeah, that would disqualify it and would basically mean your team's not billing. It would mean that no one's getting paid, including the individual who is billing for themselves. Anyways, so
Okay,
the billing
that's
needs
good.
to start immediately. The hope is that within 3 weeks, every team has a bill. And that is the bill going to be perfect? No, but every team should have a bill. Otherwise, you're going to be on soft stop for your entire team. And within 11 weeks, every team needs a bill. Does that bill need to be perfect and make perfect sense? No. You know, we'll have many months to get better and better at billing. But to not be billing is not okay, right? So we send a crappy bill that's a bunch of bullshit to our client, there's still a very high probability that they will pay us, right? So does it need to be a perfect bill? No, it doesn't. Does it need to be a bill? Yes, because if you don't send a bill and invoice to your client, the probability of getting paid is 0 to nilch. Okay?
Joe, how many types of client work are we supposed to bill?
There are 3 types of work. There's external client hours, internal client hours, and internal business operations hours. And we have 6 current open agreements. There's Visa Exim Mesh, which is an external client bill. Jorge Entities, which is external client billing. FQN Mo Taxes, which is internal client billing. Jello, which is internal client billing. Canopy is internal client billing, and Rico legal architecture support is also technically internal client billing. So the whole point of all of this is that you only need to send a single bill to Mo, to the UMBUS, right? So your sextants can take all of these bills and break up all of your hours into the different categories, and then you just need to send a single bill to UMBUS. Right, but it needs to be broken up into the sub parts, which are these 6 different accounts. In addition to that, there's the internal business operations, which will include like, you know, FQN payroll, FQN finances, coordination and management, billing, you know, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Right. So we'll get that broken down over time. But the point is that you guys can bill for internal business operations as well as the client work, but again, it's all going to UMBUS, right? All the entire bill is going to UMBUS, right? And it's going to have 6 or 7 or more sub parts of that bill, but overall, it's all going to UMBUS. UMBUS is paying the teams, and then the teams are paying the individuals. Joyce.
Yes. From what month will we start the billing?
Immediately. It starts right now. Immediately. It's already supposed to have started. It didn't happen. People didn't do the billing. So you have 3 weeks. This proposal gives us 3 weeks to get the first bill in from each team, right? If you don't do it, boom, your team's on soft stop, right? Then you get an additional 4 weeks.
From January.
From today. From today, each team gets 3 weeks to put together a bill. All right, does it have to be a perfect bill? No. Does it have to track every single hour and have every single hour perfectly categorized? No. It just needs to be a bill that has some amount of money billed to UMBUS, right? For specific reasons, okay? And then over time we can get better. So if you don't have a bill, boom, soft stop automatically. And then in 4 weeks from now, 4 weeks from then, which is 11 weeks from now. Wait, why is that not adding up properly? 4 plus 3 is 7 weeks from now. All right, we might need to change that. Let's go over the timeline again. But the point is that we have you have 3 weeks from now to get your first bill in, and then you have 4 weeks. If you don't do the bill in 4 weeks after that, then you would go on hard stop and you would no longer be able to get paid without a bill. Does that make sense? Are there other questions, Joyce?
Yes, so all our works from the past, right? All our works from the past, right?
No, you only have to bill for the current month, not the past.
Current month only. Okay,
only the current month. Yeah, so it's just your bill just needs to match your budget for the month.
Okay.
Right. So let's say you guys got budgeted for $2,000 for the 146-degree moon month. Right? If you guys only spent $1,000 and you just bill for $1,000, that's perfectly fine. You don't have to bill for the full $2,000 if you didn't do all the work. Right? But your bill should match your budget. And then you're billing for bringing in money for your next month, but your bill is based on the money that you did the month that you just budgeted for. Okay? So you're always billing the past into the future for your future budget.
Okay.
Hopefully that makes sense. But the point is that you never want to spend money that you're billing in the past, because then you'd be out of business and you would go bankrupt. So you're always billing for the work you did in the past to budget for the future. And someone should probably write that down. Lucy.
Yes, I was asking, like, doing this small job, doing training, HR support, can we also build that?
Yes, that would be under coordination management, HR, personnel support, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Right, but the point is that we have, like, if everybody does coordination management, HR support, right? That's only $500, right? So if everybody did that and everyone billed for that $500, then you're not going to get paid, right? There's a maximum amount of money that you can bill for each type of work. We have to spread out the work and do all of the work in order to bring in all of the money. Does that make sense? And you have to remember there's 5 or 6 other teams also billing for all of this same money. So it's not a competition, but we just have to remember that billing and organizing the money and making sure all the work is getting done is difficult, but this is what we use to make sure the correct work is getting done, right? We use the billing and we use the actual client umbus pools, right? The pools of money in the umbrella business to get the work done. So if you aren't working on that particular money pool and the work's not getting done, then you're not going to get paid the money. Right? So if we want the full $9,000, we have to do all of the work. We can't only work on one thing and expect to get paid $9,000. And also, we shouldn't put all of our eggs in one basket. Like we, right now it's like everyone's like VZ XMS, VZ XMS, VZ XMS. It's like our least priority of all of our clients because it's bringing us the least amount of money. Right? So if everybody focuses on VZ XMS, we're not getting paid enough. I mean, it helps bring in some money, but it's just such a small amount of money that it's not necessary to prioritize it.
Okay, I think that will be really giving us a challenge because when other people are billing maybe HR support, we need to do a different thing as a sector. Then that will be like we are improving working. instead.
Yeah,
Okay.
sure. But overall, it's like there's work that every single sexton, every single person's going to be doing that's not billable. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's work that you're doing for your sexton and going to meetings and all the stuff that we do, the organizing, everything that's not billable, right? So you have to bill more than the cost of the hours that you're billing for, because there's additional work that you're doing. So even for us, right, when we bring in $9,000, right, half of that goes to internal business costs because we can't bill for those costs, right? So Umbus can't bill the client for our internal payroll, our internal finances, our internal coordination, our own billing, and all the things that we have to do to run the business. And that's literally half of the cost of the business. So then each individual sexton has the same thing, where there's time that you're spending doing work that isn't client work and isn't direct assigned work, including all the other things. Training can be billed sometimes. If it's payroll training, you can bill for payroll. If it's client VZExaMesh training, you can bill for the training for VZExaMesh, right? But if it's just organizing and planning and coordinating and all this stuff,
I know our meetings and
all of
everything
our
else.
meetings, yeah, you can't bill
like
for that.
This.
Yeah, you can't bill for that. So also you also can't bill when you go over budget, right? You can request the money, but there's no guarantee you're going to get it. So we spend all of our time coordinating and managing, and we only have a $500 budget for that for the entire global workforce. Then at some point, we're doing work that we're not getting paid for, which is perfectly fine. There's always going to be an incident where we're working for things that we're not getting paid for, because that's just how a business is run. Does that make sense, Lucy?
Yes. I have the last question for you. What happened if all the sexton bill the same thing, like Eurafrica billing payroll and finances also, likewise to Australia, Central Asia, and America team? What's going to happen?
Well, that's where we get into things that are not billing. For example, worker coordination, right? So worker coordination, planning, et cetera, et cetera. So you need to be coordinating the work across the different teams, through the core team, the weekly core team sessions and the senior and the steering team sessions, to make sure that the correct teams are doing the right amount of work in the various different sextants, right? So if we don't coordinate the work being done in the different sextants, then yes, that'll be a very big problem. If everybody's doing the same work and billing for the same thing, right, then no one's going to get paid and you're all going to be on hard stop. So that's why you have to coordinate between the sextants and make sure that the correct work is being distributed across all the teams across the world. And the budget helps us do that, right? And our billing helps us do that. Because if we don't, then we're not going to get paid. And there's not going to be money to pay people, and people will be told to stop working.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, but billing is just one part of it, right? You can't only do billing. You also have to do worker coordination. You also have to make plans and prioritize, distribute tasks, distribute responsibilities correctly across not only your own sextant, but across the entire world. Right, and then
can I help Abdul work together on a worker coordination for that?
So worker coordination is one of our top manager priorities. So just to go over the manager priorities again, because it's very important, we have the recruitment and outreach managers. There's Joyce, Albina, and a new America's hire, right? Worker coordination, Abdul and Lucy. Rankings coordinators, Jay and Steve. Tactical operations coordinators for responsibilities and positions, Lucy and Steve. Lucy is position, Steve is responsibilities. Payroll, already have coordinators and managers, Joyce and Steve. Steve is internal, Joyce is overall. Billing coordinator, Asif. Okay. And then this is Steve. Steve's going to help with making sure we receive our money from our clients. Okay, so that's our those are our top positions. If we get all these positions focused and functional, everything else should run smoothly over the next 3 months, right?
Okay.
Yeah, and obviously there's lots of other manager positions, but it's just like we have to prioritize. So the executives are prioritizing these manager positions. They're requesting that all these managers directly report to the executives and do direct executive reporting. All of these executive manager positions will need to bring written reports to the executive team. So in 3 months' time, the next Venus session, every single one of these, let's see how many there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 manager positions need a written report, like a paragraph, like a half-page paragraph, right? Saying the status of their work. So for example, for recruitment and outreach, Joyce and Albina should know the following information. They should know the number of posts that have been made on Outsourcely and Craigslist and other locations, the number of people who have been recruited over the last 3 months, how many of them got onboarded, how many were not successful, did we reach our recruitment goals or not? Okay?
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
All right, any other questions on the proposal for the billing?
No questions.
Cool. And just so you guys understand a little bit more about how Umbus works, each individual sextant can hire Umbus to do its billing, right? So we don't need, every single sextant doesn't need to internally do all its own billing forever. If you don't have a good person to do billing within your sextant, because we don't need to hire 6 perfect billing experts across the entire world. We only need 2 to 3 people who know how to do billing, and then they can be hired by each sextant to do their billing for all of the sextants or whichever sextants hire them, right? But the sextants are responsible for their own billing, so they either have to do their own billing and pay and do it themselves internally and save money, or you can hire someone and put in your sextant budget to hire externally in the network someone else to do your billing to make sure it gets done. Right? But you can't not do billing. Billing has to get done for every sextant, and you either have to budget it and pay somebody else to do your billing within Umbus. You can hire Umbus to do your billing, or you have to do it yourself. Okay? And that's part of why Umbus and how Umbus is going to work. And you'll see this. It's probably going to take us another 6 months to a year to get Umbus fully functional. But basically, once Umbus is functional, every sextant team and every new business that's created can hire Umbus to do many different essential umbrella business responsibilities and deliverables. So it'll be really cool. All right, so let's go ahead and vote on this. Lucy, Mazi, Razu.
For me,
I'm voting for yes.
Okay, Lucy's yes.
Raju is
Razu, yes. Mazi?
I'm also yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Great. All right, so I'm glad that we went over that. So now we're ready for our 3 to 4 month goals. I feel like that just took us another hour. Am I wrong on that, or did that just take forever?
It took an hour.
Yeah. So again, I think that comes back to not splitting up into the proper groups at the beginning. If we had split up into the proper groups at the beginning, we probably would have saved an hour there. Okay. All right. So let's go on to the goals. So we're reviewing our 3 month goals. So when we go through this list of goals, we're going to be, oh, and do we want to take a quick break before we do this, or should we just jump right in?
Get done.
Okay, so when we're going through this list of goals, we're going to be going through them. We're going to check on who is responsible for them and whether that's still currently the case. And then also, we're going to cut out the ones that are no longer applicable and add in new goals that are essential. Okay. Everyone ready?
Okay.
All right. So investor relations. Well, Nelly is obviously not working on this. Who's working on investor relations?
I guess I will. Because I want to do the one-sheeter and stuff. I mean, I guess I will.
All right. So I would say overall we're probably at like 15% with investor relations. We're more than that. We're at 25%. Mel is also helping with this. Steve, if you're going to be helping with investor relations, you need to talk to Mel. It's very important.
Okay, well, that's not a problem. I'll talk to Mel.
Good. Client management,
talking to Mel.
Client management and client relations. Nelly and Steve. Obviously, we didn't do a very good job on this. I would say we're at like 33%. So does anyone else want to help with client management and client relations? Because we haven't done very good on this. Let's see if Nelly did not really pull the weight that was needed. So maybe we need to hire someone. But let's focus on getting a recruitment hired. But then once we hire recruiters, they can help us hire more people. Umbrella accounting and finances. Joyce.
I can also help on the umbrella accounting and finance.
And I would say overall we did pretty good on this. I mean, we do have a little bit more to do, but we're probably what, like 65%?
Yeah, I'd say so.
You know, we met most of our client goals. And let's add Zilu to this list, obviously. And you said Abdul?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Government compliance. Again, we're at the same amount. We're about 65, 75%. We're meeting all of our government compliance regulatory needs.
That's basically you and me.
Yes. So it's mainly Jay and Steve. Okay. Taxes. Similar situation. 65%. We're getting most of the taxes done, but there's still a couple things that are slipping through the cracks.
Gotta get the 99 done.
Obviously, Steve is helping with this as well. Quintet and sextant support. Well, this is going well. All of our sextants are much more organized than they were before. So I would say we're, with the billing, we'd be at 80% or so, maybe like 60%. 75%, 63.
63 sounds good.
Process, responsibility, organizing process. Thomas, also Abdul helped with this. Asif helped with this. Zilu helped with that. So that went well. I would say we're at, the organizing process is better than the actual responsibility organizing. So we'll say this is at 75% because that got pretty good. But the actual organizing all of the responsibilities is probably more like, I don't know.
40%.
No, maybe 27%.
Nah, I think we did a little more.
But I think things are changing though at the same time, because like basically where I'm at this point is that we have millions of tasks, thousands of responsibilities, hundreds of positions, dozens of projects, and 5 to 10 branches. Right, so the responsibilities are going up. We have more and more responsibilities. We cut down on some of our responsibilities with EXA, but that's still a minority of what needs to be getting done. Because we got to remember that we have a much bigger goal than just being functional ourselves. Our goal is to help other people across the world and make the world a better place. So we really need to step up on the responsibility. So I would say 27%. Do you think it's higher?
Let's see what happens. Let's see how we go with the new direction.
I mean, I can't imagine us. I can't imagine us having more than like 30 responsibilities organized, and even that is pushing it.
Well, now that we take out the extra ones, maybe that's true. Yeah, without the extra responsibilities, maybe that's true.
So we basically have 30 of thousands. You know, so it should be less than 25%, but I think it's fine. All right, worker coordination, Thomas. So we have a new person doing worker coordination, and that was? Who are the new people doing worker coordination? Abdul and Lucy? Is that it? Abdul and Lucy?
Yes. Yes.
All right, worker coordination is probably at like 50%. You know, we're making progress, but lots more to go. Personnel support. Where do you guys think that is?
30%.
33%? Sounds about right.
Yeah.
You know, but I mean, people are being taken care of. We're going to get our payroll set up better soon. Virtual office position. Thomas was doing that. I mean, it's not much is happening there, but he was doing something.
No, but has Thomas been around at all lately?
No. All right, but I don't think it's a huge priority, so let's just leave it. Tactical management coordination, Lucy, not a lot going on here. Maybe like 15% at most. And this is also Steve. Say like 17%. And we can break this down between responsibilities and positions. But let's not. Okay, umbrella exit coordination. Well, this is no longer, well, no, we still have umbrella exit coordination. It still exists. So this is EXA support continues. There's also the VZ EXA mesh, and we have EXA legal arc, right? So all that still continues. So Lucy is, I don't think Lucy did anything. Jorge's helped some on this. Does anyone else want to help with our exit coordination? Maybe we can get our positions back with them if we improved our relations with them.
Albina.
I mean, I was going to do the house, so I guess I can.
All right. Exit value tracking no longer exists. Budget. Joyce has been doing the budget, and Joyce has been doing an excellent job. So, I don't know, 80%? Maybe 70, maybe we do 70% because we still haven't finished the budget for this month. Worker recruitment. We're making a lot of progress on recruitment over the last 3 months. I mean, from where we were, we're over 50%, maybe 60%.
Yeah, 50, 60%.
Can you imagine? Like, remember where we were 3 months ago in October?
And we were 6 months ago.
Yeah,
we were 6 months ago.
it was like ridiculous. Like nothing was getting done, and there was no recruitment at all. All right, taxes we already covered. Personnel support we already covered. But new value tracking and new team management budget. All right, so this is all okay. The value tracking is not happening. So this is like, you know, maybe we're at 20% here for the new value tracking systems. But UMBUS is going really well. So this is at least 65%. And then new team budget is done pretty much. So that's like 80%. So I would say overall, like our billing our new value tracking and our billing, it just needs to be done. So overall, maybe we're at, 80% is green. Maybe we're at like 50%.
And how are we on the Selenium calendar?
The Selenium calendar is going really good. I would say the Selenium calendar is definitely 80% in green. I don't know who was able to do all of the calculations for this month, but I didn't do it. Someone else did it, and it's perfectly fine. So I'm very impressed.
Yeah, Abdul
yeah, well, we should check to make sure Zilu did it right. But if Zilu and Abdul did that correctly, you guys should get a bonus for it.
Okay. I also help Zilu in that.
Yeah. Well, everyone couldn't have done it. Somebody must have known how to do it because it's very complicated, all those calculations.
Yeah.
So the question is, who did the calculations to create the new months? You know, it's like, who did it? I don't know, because I didn't do it.
Yeah, actually, Zilu did that one.
Yeah, so I think Zilu did it, and I think Zilu should get a bonus for that because he took initiative on his own to do that work without any guidance or really anything. I mean, he did it correctly as far as I can tell, or good enough, you know, so that's pretty cool. So, you know, we could give him like a, $25 bonus or something like that. I don't know, just like add it in somewhere. All right, public launch. Our public launch is not really going anywhere. I would say, and do you guys, I just love the selling calendar. It's so much easier for all the finances. It works great. I'm always tracking all the time and detailing it with the selling calendar. It makes everything so much easier on the global level too. All right, so public launch, I mean, maybe 5%. I mean, have we done anything for the public launch? And remember, our public launch deadline is the Saturn session. Is the public launch deadline. And the Saturn session, literally between now and the next Venus session, is the Saturn session, right? It's in April, right? So right now it's January, February, March, April. Yeah, it's like 3 months from now. Like, that's huge. So hopefully within the next 3 months, our public launch is in the green. Otherwise, we're going to miss the Saturn session. The next chance we'll be able to do that is going to be about 12 to 14 years from now. So we either do it now or we don't. I think we should do it. Political, nothing. We have done 0% on this. Okay, maybe we did like 2%. Bills. Abdul hasn't done much. I did a lot of bills, obviously. But we're so much more to go. I still get phone calls all the time because we didn't pay bills. I would say we're at 45%. Not good. Our bills should be 100%. It's very important to have all of our bills perfect. Money, securities. Asif, myself. Does anyone want to help with money security? I mean, we're over 50%. If we weren't over 50%, we would be losing our money. So that's going to be 65%.
Yeah, I'm helping.
And we haven't lost any money. The only money we've actually lost is actually with the bank. So the bank, the $5,000 lost in the bank, that actually could be part of money security, That's really important. All right, bank relations. Not doing so well on bank relations. I would say 40%. Say again, Steve.
I'm going to keep reminding you.
Good. All right, so bank relations is still a problem. Worker coordination. Did we already cover that? Worker coordination. So we did that 50%. So
yeah, we covered that.
So we can get rid of that. Processes and systems. So we have been improving our processes and systems with billing, with payroll, lots of processes and systems improving. I would say we're about 50%, 45, 50%. Let's say 45%. Because we're making a lot of progress there, but we don't want to get overexcited about it because there's a lot more to do. planning. Have the actualization of the goal next 3 more months. Planning. I mean, we're doing planning. I mean, not like we're not doing it. It's just not like being focused on. So we'll give it a 40%. All right. So the other things that obviously have to include is stabilizing our funds, and this is also Canopy. This is super important. We're making a huge amount of progress on this. I would say we're a third of the way there. And it's mainly me, and we need other people to help with it. Anyone else want to help with Canopy?
And also take that initiative.
Yes.
Joyce,
Of course.
Steve,
Abdul.
Albina.
So let's make sure we prioritize that. Get our funds stabilized. All right. So I think that's it. Is there anything else? You guys think of anything else? I think that's everything. So I would say that overall, if we had this in a spreadsheet, we could calculate the overall percentage. But you know, the way to think about this is that we're halfway through, right? So if we add up all of these and they were all about, we probably end up a little under 50%. So overall, we're in pretty good shape as far as where we were at the Venus Perihelion, and now we're halfway through at the Venus Aphelion, and so now we have another 112 days, about 3 months, to get all of this done. And the goal is that in three months, right before 3 months with the public launch, we're all good to go. So the number one thing for all of this that everything is reliant on is, what's the number one thing that everything else is dependent on?
The Canopy.
Nope.
Billing.
Nope.
Local HQ help.
Yes, but really it's just worker recruitment in general. So we have to recruit workers. If we need people recruited globally to help the Americas, then we recruit globally in the old world to help the Americas. If we need people in the Americas, we need to recruit in the Americas to help the Americas and local. If we need people locally, we need to have people in the Americas to help locally, and then we can get everything done, right? So if we don't recruit, we are not going to get everything done. Our number one priority is recruitment. If we don't recruit, everything else will fall apart, because the current people who are working are not able to meet the goals. Like, we have too much work to do. We don't have the right or enough people, period. So we just have to recruit more people. The money should not be an issue. If we do the work, we will have more than enough money 5 times over. So it's not about the money right now. It's about getting the work done. So I think we're good. That's any other goals, any other specific things that we need to do over the next 3-6 months. I think this covers everything as far as I know. What's umbrella exit coordination? For this, we are not good. This is like maybe 33% at most. But I think overall we're in good shape, dude. We're way, way better off than where we were at the last Venus session. We're making a huge amount of progress. I want to thank everybody for getting us to where we are. If we hadn't done all of the work that we just listed here that we just did, guess where we'd be right now? We would all be fired. We lost our primary client. The only reason that we are functional right now and that everyone hasn't already been fired after losing our primary client is because, one, obviously Bitcoin and Ether going up, 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 which is why even though we're losing tens of thousands of dollars every week, we're still good to go because we made, hundreds of thousands of dollars from Ether and Bitcoin going up, 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 up. So it hasn't gone below where it was yet, right? So we're still in good shape, but it's still silly to be losing all this money when we can simply do a couple trades and not lose the money, right? So let's focus on make sure Canopy gets finalized, stabilize our funds, stabilize our income. But again, with all the hard work that everyone's done over the last 3 months, that is the reason why we aren't completely out of the jobs right now. So the fact we lost our main client, we're working on building a whole new business and investing into this new business. It's very exciting. And if it's successful, we'll all be in very good shape. So let's just go for it, and great work. We're doing really good. So it could be a lot worse. So anything else before we check out? Any other details wrapping up? So just, I guess just really quick on the schedule. We have Mercury session on Thursday. And what about the quarter moon session? When's that?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow, Wednesday?
24, yeah.
Tomorrow. 10 p.m.
10 a.m. or p.m.?
January 24. p.m.
10 p.m.
10 p.m. UTC. Okay, so the quarter moon is tomorrow. Mercury session is on Thursday. So it's a busy week for the global team. So Mercury is 3, 4, 5. 5 is going to be 11 a.m. UTC. I think that's it. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and check out any other schedules, any other task responsibilities, questions on anything.
Just today's, as the senior sector amount of today's Atlantic has been canceled. We just spent 3.5 hours here, almost 4 hours here by the time we're done. There's no reason to have an Atlantic main section now. So we'll pick it up again next week.
All right. Yeah, we're gonna say it overlapped, with the Venus session. So is there anything in the Atlantic session that needs to quickly be addressed? Like, was there a budget issue or some sort of other issue that needs to quickly be addressed with the Atlantic? No.
The budget, I mean, we know the budget's over.
All right,
well,
then
we
we're good.
talked about my budget will be for the next month's budget.
Okay.
No, we're good.
All right, so we're good. So the meeting's going to be, we started at 6, so 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So it's 3-hour meeting, 3 hours. And just let us know the time period that you're in so we know whether or not you're super early in the morning or not. So
3 or 4 hours.
4-hour meeting, Jay. The meeting started at 4-hour meeting.
So it started at 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 4 hours. Okay, so Mazi, let's start with you and let us know where you are and your time. Okay.
My time is 11:50 a.m.
Oh wow, you're actually right in the America's time. So
yeah, he's in Canada. He's in Canada.
Canada is a very large and very long and has lots of time zones.
Yes.
So
like the U.S.
Yeah, so Mazi, you would be just normal time, I believe, right? So
yeah.
Normal time. So go ahead and check out how was the session for you, what you're planning on doing.
Yeah, it was a great session for me. I learned a lot from this session, and I appreciate you guys that you are the hardworking people, and it's good for me with you people to spend much time.
And what are you going to be working on? What are you taking away from this? What's your plan? What is your top priority?
My top priority is, first of all, I would like to learn project management, then on budget and payroll.
Great. All right. So, okay, so we're going to go to Abdul. So you do your time. You're going to do your how the meeting went for you and your top priority. Abdul.
My meeting started at 11:51 p.m. midnight.
Say again, it's what time?
11 and 51 p.m.
So it's like midnight. So it'll be 1.5x nighttime for Abdul.
This session was really good, and I really very happy to join this session. In this session, we learned a lot of things, and I appreciate that every teams they follow the client the billing process and do their best for the income for this team. And my top priorities right now is worker coordination and our sexton billing. Get organized the team.
Great. Thank you, Abdul. Steve.
It is normal time. It was a productive session, and my focus this week is going to be on getting some people to help us use the extra mech. I sent out a notice on to some of the people yesterday on what we need. So hopefully Zilla, Abdul, and Albin and some of the people who've done work on it before can get us the updated stuff that we need so that we can actually go ahead and do the actual reconciliation. Also starting to go through the Jorge Anthony stuff. I'm going to go through the emails again to see what we have and what we need.
And just go ahead and email Vienna or Zachary as needed. Just make sure you CC me. But if you need to email them, and same with with Jorge, just send me the email and I'll send it to Jorge.
No, Jorge, I go through you. Yeah. Jorge, I'm going through you. We know better.
Yeah, Jorge is like, oof. Okay, so anything else, Steve?
That's it.
Okay. So my turn. I am at 1.25x. I got up at like 6 a.m. this morning. So it was not, but right now it's the last hour was, so it might be 1.3. The last hour, the first 2 hours were definitely in the night, and then the last hour has been normal time. So I thought this was a very good meeting. I enjoy Venus sessions. I'm really, like, of all the sessions we have like all these back-to-back global sessions. This is the most important one. This is the one where the most organized, coordinated efforts happen on the biggest levels. So this is the most important one. Thank you guys for all being here. I'm almost exclusively, I'm going to write that. The most important one, perfect. I'm almost exclusively going to be focusing on Canopy because I can't not stop thinking about like losing all this money and like stabilizing our income and all this stuff. It's like, oh my God, right? And then obviously also FQN payroll, running FQN payroll. So those are my two main priorities. All right, Lucy.
Yeah, my time is 9 p.m. Now, 5 minutes to 9 p.m. now. It was a great session. And my priority is to learn more about Canopy. And also payroll and client billing.
Great. And so for the payroll, definitely talk to me if you want to help with running the payroll. Albina. Thank you, Lucy.
Okay. It's normal time for me because it is a minute to 9. It was a good session and I enjoyed it. I'm going to take part in recruitment and also take part in Canopy and also payroll J. I'm also available if you can run it now. I can help you on that.
Well, I definitely want to take a break for like an hour, but then I would definitely, today definitely want to do some payroll. So yeah, let's check in on Skype. All right.
Okay.
Anything? Thank you, Albina. Razu.
Left earlier.
Oh, and where is Razu right now? Razu is in Pakistan? Or no, Bangladesh?
Yeah, the same as,
Raju is the same as me.
Okay, and so isn't it like the middle of the night for you guys, Abdul? What time is it?
Yeah, right now it's
Oh, midnight. It's midnight. Okay. All right, cool. All right, so this is a good time to have everybody when it's not literally the middle of the night. Okay, so Razu, did he check out at all? Did he give us a Skype message or anything?
No, we just noticed the time he left.
Okay. All right. Well, so someone should check in with them, see if you can get him to check out.
Aline, can you also Aline? She was at the middle of night.
Oh, Aline was.
Yeah, Aline was.
So Aline would be a 2x night.
Yeah.
Cool.
What time did she leave? It was on the second floor.
Joyce, would you like to check out?
Yes. I'm like normal time also. It's 8 o'clock in the evening now. And for the meeting, I'm glad that it's really heartwarming to it's really heartwarming that each one contributed to the improvement of the organization. Like I'm glad that I'm able to help on like the budget and like sextant organizing and all. And my top priority now is to really I will be very happy if I see the payroll running perfectly, and the recruiting somebody for America, especially the head office.
Cool. All right, I think that's everything. I think we are done. If someone wants to do session value tracking, that would be great, because this is the Venus session. It's very high level priority.
Yeah.
Basically, we multiply all of the values of the session credits times, 112, whatever it is. What is 225 divided by 2? 225, so it's about 112 or so. All right, cool. So I will talk to you all soon. You guys have a great evening.
Yeah, Jay, when you are ready, just
everybody. Maybe I'll be back around Cobalt, but I don't know.
Okay.
Prep also. Bye.
Bye.
Okay.
Wow! Congratulations.
Thank you.
Could you just message us in the Skype group, because Albina is willing to
when you are
run the
ready.
payroll.
Okay, but you guys should message me. So I'm gonna take a break.
Okay.
You guys should message me. I will also do that. But either way, me and Miguel are planning on doing more payroll at 12. So right now it's 10. So I've. Oh boy. I mean, it doesn't really make sense to do a bunch of payroll now and then not have a break at 12. So, I mean, I'll just try to come as early as possible and start before 12. But then Miguel's going to start helping at 12. So maybe in like an hour we can get started. And then when Miguel comes in, we can switch off if people need to go to bed. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you.
So Abdul, you would be a 3 because you didn't do video. I mean, you also didn't do a lot of participation. 0.75. All right, Albina, Lucy ran a whole group. Joyce, Steve. Oh, but you did do a bunch of documents. That's good. Documents are good. Steve, Shigimi, Rhodes, Aline. Shigimi wasn't here today, right? Shigimi wasn't here today, right?
No.
And Mazi was here 4 hours.
Aline.
What time did Elaine leave?
Yeah, in your second group, Lucy.
Lucy, how many hours, Elaine?
Where's Lucy?
How many hours for Elaine? Marcy, how many hours for Elaine?
I think she left.
Even Asif Iqbal, you need to include.
We are asking how many hours for Elaine and Asif.
Asif must spend 1.75 hours.
Thank you. Elaine?
And Elaine is spent
Elaine
2.75.
Yeah, 2.75.
2.75.
2.75.
Cool. All right. I think that looks pretty good. I'm going to take a break. I'll be back. Talk to you guys soon. Bye.
Okay.
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 Okay.